sleeping it through. Well, you know what we did sleep through? We had several days right there in which we actually came with temperatures overnight that stayed in the 40s, where normally we should be dipping already, or in the average, into those 30s for the Boston area. I gotta say, this morning we have dipped below 32 for the first time this season. So now Boston has the official first freeze, and we're looking at temperatures that stay pretty chilly throughout the afternoon. These are going to continue in the next few days. Watching for mostly clear skies throughout the day. At least this afternoon. We'll be watching for a bit more clouds tomorrow, and we will do so as well as we make our way into Tuesday. But next week, late next week, I got to say, we're going to wrap up our work week with temperatures above average, rising to the upper 50s, watching for a few low 60s. Things are looking great. But for this time of year, the normal lows are 41, highs 55. By December 5th is when we look at temperatures such as the ones we're going to have this afternoon. So in other words, the temperatures we're having for your Sunday are actually more typical for early December. 45 is a typical high right there, and 32 is a typical low by that time of year. Well, we're watching temperatures dipping as low as the 20s overnight in the suburbs and right around 30 degrees in the Boston area. This afternoon, this is what you're watching for, from 43 to 45 in the Boston area. We actually made it to the upper 40s yesterday, but this time around, we're looking more so into the mid 40s, and it'll feel like the upper 30s to barely the low 40s across the warmest of the spots. When you look at the cloud coverage, it persists upon the southeast. Most of us will watch for the clear skies, but down towards Plymouth County, you may even see the chance for a few showers, just a few sprinkles, nothing really to cancel your plans for, but keep in mind that with that colder air on tap and another shortwave pushing through on Monday night and into Tuesday, we might even see just a few flurries trying to crawl their way inside I-95. Same thing over parts of northern Rhode Island, and a lot more clouds throughout the day. Otherwise, it'll be okay. We should be on the drier side. We actually have drier air that's also winning that battle. Overnight is going to get colder. 23 to 24 from Lowland to Natick, 29 in Boston, low 30s for Hyannis and the islands as well. We go up to Manchester, 23. And tomorrow's temperatures go up to around 47. We're watching for 48 as the warmest of the spots. And again on Tuesday, we slowly climb our way closer to 50 degrees in the warmest areas. That's, of course, into parts of northern Rhode Island, southeastern Massachusetts. The Merrimack Valley sticks to the upper 40s. But despite of it, we're also looking at that chance of temperatures increasing along with a few showers by the second half of next week. That, well, very different from the inland areas in which we're going to be tracking more cloud coverage. And these clouds might also bring a slight chance for a sprinkle as we get into Plymouth County, down towards Barnstable. Wind out of the north, however, and temperatures around the 40s. This is what I mean. When you take a look at our precipitation type and forecast into the mid-morning hours, there's a slight chance of a quick sprinkle out there just along Plymouth County, along the coast, I should say, into Scituate and parts of Cohasset too. You head into the southeast and maybe a light sprinkle may come down towards Cape Cod. Then we look at increasing clouds for Monday. This is when we track an isolated potential for maybe a flurry, a light sprinkle. That wintry mix as temperatures should remain in the upper 30s and the low 40s. And then Tuesday morning, there you go again, but very isolated as you can see. Now temperatures will be dipping overnight into the lower 20s, low 23. Same thing for Manchester, Boston right around 29. And in the next few days, it'll stay chilly, actually below average through Wednesday. But Thursday, we make up for it, 58. And we continue with those temperatures.
Freezing in a lot of spots.
Below freezing, actually Boston's first freeze of the season. But Lauren, I loved that word, peaceful. Very peaceful outside, very quiet. We are going to be tracking temperatures inland that are actually cooling down just a bit more before we get to 7, 8 a.m. We keep it in the low 20s in Oshawa and Concord, Rochester 24. In Boston, you're looking at 31. But if we also see the difference from yesterday's temperatures at this time of day, we've actually cooled down 13 degrees there, Taunton 15. You look down towards Plymouth and Barnstable, a very similar number, and even 19 degrees colder up in northern parts of Massachusetts and southern New Hampshire. But this is what it feels like right now. 22 in Fitchburg, Bedford, Worcester. The wind is not as strong as it was yesterday. So fortunately, that's really on our side. The thing is that throughout the afternoon, your temperatures today are going to be ranging from 43 to 45. Bright sunny skies for most of us, with the exception of areas like Plymouth and Hyannis, where we might be tracking a few more of the mid-level clouds. And on top of that, while the wind is also light, it still makes an impact. Your temperatures are going to be feeling more like the upper 30s and the low 40s. So don't lose that jacket. Make sure you take that with you and use the layers this morning as you step outside, since temperatures are still feeling in the 20s. We're going over the 10-day coming up next.
A lot of spots.
Below freezing, actually Boston's first freeze of the season. But Lauren, I loved that word, peaceful. Very peaceful outside, very quiet. We are going to be tracking temperatures inland that are actually cooling down just a bit more before we get to 7, 8 a.m. We keep it in the low 20s in Oshawa and Concord, Rochester 24. In Boston, you're looking at 31. But if we also see the difference from yesterday's temperatures at this time of day, we've actually cooled down 13 degrees there, Taunton 15. You look down towards Plymouth and Barnstable, a very similar number, and even 19 degrees colder up in northern parts of Massachusetts and southern New Hampshire. But this is what it feels like right now. 22 in Fitchburg, Bedford, Worcester. The wind is not as strong as it was yesterday, so fortunately that's really on our side. The thing is that throughout the afternoon, your temperatures today are going to be ranging from 43 to 45. Bright sunny skies for most of us, with the exception of areas like Plymouth and Hyannis, where we might be tracking a few more of the mid-level clouds. And on top of that, while the wind is also light, it still makes an impact. Your temperatures are going to be feeling more like the upper 30s and the low 40s. So don't lose that jacket. Make sure you take that with you and use the layers this morning as you step outside, since temperatures are still feeling in the 20s. We're going over the 10-day coming up next. Actually, the coldest, to be precise, in the Boston area. We're checking in at 31 right now. That's how cold it is. 20s inland, with wind chills that have gone down to the upper teens. Now, throughout the afternoon, we rise to the mid-40s. I gotta say, this is still way below average. Normally, we should be reaching around 54 degrees, and we're switching those numbers to 45 as our high this afternoon. Low 40s in Hyannis, same thing over the Merrimack Valley, north into Manchester. Heading up into northern New Hampshire, those temperatures drop even lower, but the wind is out of the northwest. And that, again, my friends, this is going to keep us feeling a lot cooler. So normally by November 5th, just to give you an idea, those temperatures are around 55. And I mentioned today, to be precise, around 54 is the normal high. But December 5th brings temperatures that we usually see in the mid-40s. And today, this afternoon, we're watching temperatures that are actually the normal for early December, 45. And temperatures overnight, they're actually dipping colder than 32. We're watching for an even chillier morning tomorrow, dipping to freezing conditions, 20s inland and just around 29 in the Boston area. Anyway, what you're going to be watching for are more sunny afternoons, but also chilly ones. We're staying below average for the next few days. I got to say, a few more clouds do make their way in depending on where you're at. And we're going to be diving into the details with that. But next week, we do anticipate a finish our work week with warmer temperatures. We go closer to the upper 50s and the low 60s. So great news there. But bundle up this morning and keep those coats on throughout the afternoon. Your temperatures are going to feel like the upper 30s, right around the low 40s in the warmest of the spots and at the warmest time of the day. We're also keeping a few more clouds over parts of the eastern areas in Plymouth County, to be precise, is where we're also tracking that light potential for a few sprinkles coming down towards Cape Cod. Monday, especially when you look at the overnight conditions, you're looking at the chance of a few showers pretty close by, and also the chance for a few flurries from the Merrimack Valley down into and inside 95 and I-495. You may be experiencing only a few flakes here and there. No accumulation expected whatsoever. No treatment required really at now, since this seems to be pretty isolated. And then you're looking at improving conditions once we make our way into Tuesday afternoon, inland as well, because Cape Cod may be looking at a chance for a few showers. Overnight lows 23. This is what I mean, how cold it's going to feel. Upper teens, I got to say. Upper 20s for Boston, same for Plymouth, 32 in Hyannis. Highs tomorrow, upper 40s. Wind out of the southwest. Tuesday, that wind comes in again. And I also want to emphasize something else. While the rest of us are going to be enjoying mostly sunny skies, it's down in the Cape and the islands, especially down towards the East Coast in areas like Plymouth and Scituate, where they're going to be looking at those clouds around throughout the day and possibility for a few sprinkles. Nothing more than sprinkles, no worries. Wind is pretty light. Yesterday was somewhat breezy, right? That made it feel cooler out there. But fortunately, there were the sunny skies. What you'll see for out there across this afternoon, low 40s as our temperatures go up throughout the warmest time of the day. Then we're looking at a few showers. This is what I mean. Those sprinkles coming by the mid-morning hours. We'll take it through tomorrow morning, and we see another possible round right here. Plymouth County, Barnstable, especially the outer Cape is where you're looking at that chance. And then Monday evening comes along. We see the chance for a few flurries. We'll look at our temperatures sitting in the upper 30s. All right, this would be very wet, though. We're not expecting any accumulation, but just so you know that we may be experiencing some of that happening into Tuesday morning. And then we, of course, try to rise those temperatures back up to the 50s Thursday into Friday of next week, keeping temperatures around 60 through next Saturday, but also with a chance for a few showers. All right, my friends, we're taking a quick break, but we'll be right back. Stay with us. You're watching NBC 10 Boston. We do, especially when you're dealing with those lower 20s out there in western New England. My friends, areas like Fitchburg, even out into Bedford, you're dealing with 22. It gets colder out in Orange. Coming up into Concord, we keep temperatures around 20 degrees. What about Boston? 31. That's the coldest it's been throughout this season. At least we've been looking for the first freeze of the season. 28 in Plymouth and 25 in Taunton. Many communities down into parts of southeastern Massachusetts also experiencing the first freeze. Temperatures, however, do feel a lot cooler, so bundle up and layer up for temperatures feeling like 22 in Boston, Bedford, Nashua, Fitchburg. Look at 22 being such a popular number in the wind chill right now. 25 in Taunton as well, with upper 20s down towards the southeast. What happens throughout the afternoon, your temperatures should stay way below average for this time of year. We don't really change those numbers a lot if you compare to yesterday. Mid and upper 40s. All right, that is going to be the warmest it gets. When you go throughout the afternoon, the feels like forecast, though, is going to be sitting in the low 40s. And that's, of course, throughout 2 and 3 p.m. That's a light wind we still keep in hand. So just take away about 4 to 5 degrees as you step outside and you look at the thermometer, what the temperature is going to be. Bundle up for it, okay? We're going to be talking about the changes expected early in the week and what's going on as we warm up late next week. Stay with us.
It's getting chilly, and this is the kind of thing people like to do in this season.
Exactly. Have a nice hot cup of coffee. You know it. Enjoy at least those cold temperatures we'll be having to go through in the next few days. See, today we actually mark the first freeze for Boston, officially reaching below 32. In the next few days, we're keeping temperatures cool throughout the afternoon, but overnight temperatures are not going to be as cold as what we're still getting tomorrow morning. We're actually dipping colder than what we're experiencing this morning. Just to give you an idea, our lows are going to drop to the 20s, and that along the coldest temperatures may even feel in the upper teens. Anyway, next week, though, by the end of next week, you're tracking temperatures that are going to go back up to the 50s and 60s. So I know many of you have missed those 60s. You'll be getting possibly a last shot of it. Not today, though. We get to enjoy mostly clear skies, at least inland, because along the coastal areas in Plymouth County, there will be a lot more clouds. But in Boston, we're reaching 44, wind out of the west, northwest, and you got to keep that fall coat because the temperatures are actually going to feel more like the upper 30s and the low 40s, and that's at the warmest time of the day. So yeah, you want to make sure that you do get a chance to have those layers on, at least the jacket throughout the afternoon. Even Plymouth County down to parts of the southeast with cloudy skies will be experiencing cooler temperatures. And this is what I mean. There's actually a shot for a few sprinkles out there into Cohasset, for example, areas like Scituate. And then you look at the far southeast and Cape Colony Islands where you may also experience a few isolated showers. Then we head into Monday evening. And guess what? A few flurries may make their way in. Now, I got to emphasize, though, that this is still difficult for it to happen. We do have plenty of dry air, and while the clouds do roll over, these are not going to be accumulating. So very isolated in form, and then we'll see it again Tuesday morning, very isolated inside 495 with a few sprinkles as temperatures grow milder throughout the day. Tuesday evening, out in Cape Colony Islands, you still have a chance for a light sprinkle there. Overnight lows. This is what I wanted to get to. 23 in Manchester, Lowell, Fitchburg, Natick, just around the same numbers, not changing a lot. Below the mid-20s for Taunton as well. And you look at Boston with around 29, which is going to be a colder morning than what we're experiencing right now as we check in with 31. But highs tomorrow do make their way into the upper 40s. So at least we get to climb slightly milder and the wind is not going to be as strong. Tuesday around 49 to 50 degrees as well. Wind out of the west-northwest. And well, this is what I mean. It's actually a short wave that we get to push through real quick. Does, however, influence the potential for a few more scattered snow showers up in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. The rest of us, mostly, I must agree, because on a day like this one in which you're looking outside the window, it looks so bright and lovely, but temperatures are actually somewhat deceiving because you're looking at highs that will climb into the mid-40s. But one more time, we'll be dealing with temperatures that are going to be feeling more like the lower 40s. And then we're looking at temperatures that also begin to dip into the 20s overnight. So this evening's going to be another chilly one. We track more sunshine tomorrow, but look at how cold it's going to continue to feel. More like the mid-20s. And then we step into tomorrow. Kiddos waiting for the school bus. You're going to need those layers. It's going to be another frigid start. I got to say around 29 for the Boston area. We go inland and those temperatures are even colder to the lower and mid-20s. Lunchtime, 44, right?
So exciting. While you're gone, we're going to miss you. We still have her for another hour, guys, so stick around. Now, what is going on?
It's going to be one of those days in which you'll rock the sunglasses, but also bundling up while you do so because temperatures feel cooler than what you see in the thermometer. Again, no surprise here, but especially when you talk about 20s inland and it feels in the teens, that can be a surprise. So 21 in Nashua. Take a look at the current temperatures, 21 in Nashua and 31 in Boston. Okay, you ready? It feels like 13 at Nashua and 22 in Boston. So this is what you'll have to layer up for this morning. Before you head out the door, you just want to make sure that you do take that thick sweater or at least a fall jacket because you'll be requiring that even throughout the afternoon. Temperatures in the mid-40s. Despite of it, our temperatures are going to feel like the lower 40s. So just keep that in mind, okay? This is a feels like forecast. Mostly sunny skies inland. You do see a few more clouds throughout the middle of the day. These clouds are not going to really bring any showers with the exception of areas like Plymouth County. The coastal areas could be experiencing a few ocean effect sprinkles and we might also be looking at a few, I'm afraid of saying this word, but a few flakes early in the week. That may also make their way in before we talk about the rise in temperatures we'll be watching for late in the week. 58 to 60 degrees Thursday into the following weekend, tagging along a few showers. We'll be going over those details coming up next.
All right, Tanya.
Boston, first time?
First freeze in Boston, yeah, and I wouldn't doubt that we have some frost out there in our suburbs since we woke up in the 20s and feeling in the teens. I mean, it is a chilly morning. We're also looking at a pretty cool afternoon. 44 is our expected high for the Boston area. Wind out of the northwest, still light. Yesterday was breezy, but despite of it, temperatures will feel cooler, so you want to make sure you do hang on to that fall coat. And if you're stepping outside this morning, you'll probably need those 2 layers. Out on the Cape, you're watching for more cloud coverage rather than our inland communities. Temperatures will rise to the lower 40s. Wind is also out of the north and also on the light side. But unfortunately for many of you out there that are seeking for some sunshine, you'll be watching plenty of clouds rolling through, marching into the afternoon, but hopefully not generating any rain for you. I do have to say there is an isolated potential for a sprinkle or two. Now, also emphasizing that our average high is 53 for this time of year. We're looking at highs in the 40s today and lows in the 20s overnight. This is our feels like forecast from 38 to 40 degrees from the Merrimack Valley, even 37 in Manchester, down to 40 in Dartmouth, and near that across the islands. That's the chance of a few sprinkles we'll be watching for across the coastal areas in Plymouth County and down towards the Cape as we make it through the evening hours tomorrow morning and then again on Tuesday. Now, the chance for a few flurries, these are going to make their way through from parts of New Hampshire and inside 495. Thing is, you're not really expecting to see a wide coverage of it. Also, these are probably going to be very wet, not accumulating and also very isolated, so not expecting too much. But I just want you to be aware of it. You'll be watching more cloud coverage. A short wave is crossing through, and as it encounters the cold temperatures, you could be watching for that wintry mix. Very quick, though. Nothing to worry about. Tuesday evening, there you go. A few sprinkles one more time across the Cape overnight. 23 in Lowell, 24 in Natick, Norwood, and 29 in Boston. So this is what I mean about the colder temperature expected overnight and tomorrow morning. Highs tomorrow climb back up to upper 40s, near 50 degrees, mostly sunny, but a few more clouds throughout the second half of the day. And then Tuesday, very similar, upper 40s and low 50s. Now, we're not expecting to see any more of that chance of showers that we're going to be watching for after Tuesday. We actually get to see a high pressure system coming through real quick, at least getting closer to us. And as it does, we'll likely keep that wind out of the southwest. So influenced by that, we'll be watching for a rise in temperatures starting Thursday, 59 to 60 degrees into Friday, Friday night into next Saturday. We could be looking at a few showers coming along. So just keep that in mind. After that, temperatures dip back again to the lower 50s.
All right, Tanya, thank you for trouble.
Well, my friends, temperatures this afternoon, even though they're rising to the mid 40s, they'll be feeling like the low 40s. So you want to make sure that you keep those layers on and getting you ready for the evening hours. Those temperatures are dipping to feeling in the 20s and even overnight to tomorrow morning. You're going to hang on to temperatures that will feel a lot cooler one more time. So just around the Boston area, we may see temperatures around 29 and 30 degrees one more time. So that'll be the second day in a row with temperatures below freezing. And then you're looking at bright sunny skies with increasing clouds throughout the day. The morning hours, you're feeling in the 20s out in the suburbs. Lunchtime, right home, temperatures feeling in the upper 30s to the low 40s. And then you're looking at increasing clouds, as I mentioned, with that light chance of a few sprinkles into parts of the southeast, and then increasing sunshine out in the west. It should also fill in on the clouds by Monday evening and into Tuesday morning. Now let's talk about the rise in temperatures. We keep it below average from now through Wednesday. Thursday, we go back up to 58, and then we're looking at temperatures getting closer to 60 degrees into Friday. Friday night towards next Saturday, there's a chance for a few showers out there. And then Sunday ongoing till the following Tuesday. We keep temperatures in the lower end of the 50s. So it's a roller coaster, guys. I guess we'll just have to adapt.
Back on the roller.
But yeah, that's right, guys. Out inland, we're looking at temperatures that dip down to 19 in Orange, low 20s in Fitchburg, and teens in Concord. Now, that was the coldest it got. In the Boston area, we're still sitting at 31, I gotta say. But it's quiet. This is a visible radar and satellite image. Nothing's going on regarding precipitation chances for us throughout the afternoon, with the exception of parts of the southeast. And I'll be telling you why ahead. Meanwhile, temperatures right now are now at 31 in Boston, but low 20s into Nashua. 1 degree more in Concord, feeling, however, in the upper teens towards Rochester, Bedford around 20, and 22 in Boston. So remember, while the temperature in the thermometer in Boston is 31, it feels like 22. So you want to make sure that you do keep those layers on. Throughout the afternoon, temperatures in the mid 40s. Wind continues out of the northwest, and it'll be light, so you're not expecting too much. But the wind chill will still remain in the lower end of the 40s throughout the afternoon. That's at the warmest time of the day. Inland, you'll get a higher chance to enjoy sunshine, but out in the east, along the coastal areas, is where you might be looking for a nice quick sprinkle. Bright and chilly afternoons ahead, expecting to see some light unsettled weather Monday evening into Tuesday, then followed by a warm up that's going to take us back to the 60s by the end of the exclusive 10-day we'll be watching next.
Tanya, thank you.
As this weather, I mean, it is cooler than average for this time of year, I gotta say. We're starting off with temperatures frigid inland 20s, 31 in the Boston area, still feeling around 22. So bundle up this morning before you step outside, layer up, and keep that fall coat around throughout the afternoon, because despite the fact that we're still rising our temperatures throughout the day, it'll feel cooler than what you see in the thermometer. We do turn it around, but that's on Thursday. Our temperatures are going to start to climb back up to the upper 50s and the low 60s. So actually above average for this time of year. So we go from an extreme to another. And then the 10-day forecast, you're also watching that chance of showers as we make our way through the end of our following work week. I do got to say that this morning conditions are pretty quiet, peaceful, as Lauren said earlier this morning. Just a few clouds across northern New England. We do expect to see more sunshine inland, but throughout the coastal areas, you might be watching for more cloud coverage. And this is what you'll be watching for throughout the day. Temperatures in the lower to the mid 40s, but feels like forecast sitting in the upper 30s and the low 40s. So again, hence the reason why I'm emphasizing that I hope that you do get a chance to layer up, just stay warm throughout the day and into tonight. We're watching for another cold one before our temperatures get set to rise overnight to the 30s. So more 20s inland into Lowell, Natick, and out in Fitchburg. Around 23 to 24, stretching all the way to Taunton into parts of Brockton even. You may stretch to temperatures around the mid-20s, except for the coastal areas where temperatures will be dipping into the upper 20s. And all right, your highs tomorrow from 44 to 47. A few more clouds throughout the second half of the day. You're waking up to sunny skies and then progressively watching for more clouds rolling through. On Tuesday, we wake up to temperatures in the 30s now, and this is the increase that we're watching for. Not as cold as what you're going to be expecting to see tomorrow morning. So there's improvement. Tuesday afternoon, highs in the upper 40s, low 50s, another below than average day, and a few snow scattered showers across parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, and out in Maine while we're watching for possibly only a few flurries around. No worries, no accumulation expected. This is also very isolated. Now the wind, though, is going to continue out of the north, and that's going to make it feel a lot cooler. Once we step into Thursday, that's when we get a chance to warm up back into the upper 50s, low 60s. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sunny skies. Temperatures come back down to the lower end of the 50s. So at least we're looking at beautiful sunny skies.
Sorry, whatever.
Yeah.
I love it, Lauren. Come forecast with me. We're
Exactly.
forecasting sunny skies, but also chilly temperatures. Guys, bundle up this afternoon. Those temperatures are going to feel like the lower 40s overnight. We dip to 31. I got to say even 29 in the coldest of the spots, with even low 20s in the suburbs. Tomorrow afternoon, a few clouds continue. Temperatures in the upper 40s. And for the kiddos waiting for the school bus tomorrow, please be extra aware of them because they will be needing those layers. Temperatures tomorrow morning are going to be way colder than this morning, meaning that out in the...
So sad that this is our last show with you for a little while, but
Yeah.
we know you have a beautiful chapter ahead.
I love you guys so much. I appreciate you with all my heart.
We love you too.
Are amazing. And thank you
Absolutely.
So you're going to be on maternity leave,
Yes.
and obviously you're having a sweet baby girl.
Yes, I am.
We'll be waiting for pictures.
And
Will
we are
do
so happy.
Proud of you. We're grateful for you. Every morning, Tanya brings the cheeriness when Jeff and I are still
Yeah,
chugging our coffee.
exactly.
Tanya's, good morning, guys. And so that goes a long way. And we're grateful for your expertise. And your daughter is going to be
Yeah.
so lucky to have you.
And you can put your feet up and watch us.
There and I are still chugging
Yeah,
our coffee.
exactly.
Tanya's, good morning, guys. And so that goes a long way. And we're grateful for your expertise. And your daughter is going to be
Yeah.
so lucky to have you.
And you can put your feet up and watch us.
There you go.
Yeah, I won't miss those shows. Thank you so much for joining us.
We're back. We have
Thanks for being
another.